Excellent afternoon, everyone. I am Nicole from LVS. I'm the Surveyor Relationship Manager, and Carl is my sidekick on the lender world.
Hi.
Thanks. So we're going to talk to you today a little bit about what's going on in the world of LVS and the surveyor solutions and the lender solutions. So as Graham said earlier on, last year when we were at the summit, we proposed a bunch of ideas. We proposed a bunch of solutions. We went from slideware to software. And literally 1 year on, after hosting our first summit, and after announcing the Landmark Connect concept, after announcing that we were going to embark on the journey of a new case management and a new mobile app, and announcing and just starting the launch of SPN Plus, we're very proud and very happy to say we have actually adopted those and released those to market. So, as you all know, SPN provides the backbone to the mortgage industry. It enables lenders, panel managers, and surveyors to connect, to share that data. And Carl is going to give you an update on where we're at with SPN Plus. Vantage Case Manager, which I will give you a live demo of later on today, is our new case management tool that is for surveyors, panel managers, and for lenders. So this is your view into the SPN Plus world, into this richer data world, and I'll give you an introduction and a preview of that, as well as a preview of the new mobile app. So, over to Carl.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Nikki. So firstly, I just want to say I've seen Ed's slides previously, and I'm sorry they were so depressing, and we'll try and make this a little bit better for you all. But I guess Nikki started us off really well here by kind of highlighting that we're a year in now and things are live. So one of the first things we kind of wanted to do and talk around SPN Plus is kind of just a bit of a refresh from conversations we've had previously into what the enhanced benefits are to SPN Plus. So being able to share and inform a better valuation process by sharing richer information. This is to kind of give a better insight into that valuation response coming back, but also to be able to look forward and reducing any further queries that come in further down the line, which we'll get into slightly during Nikki's Vantage demo. The idea of being able to share richer information has come from quite a lot of time that we've spent with lenders and panel managers, and we've got customers now utilising that process at the moment, which is great. It's fully extensible, so we can add anything to this, to the data, to the data attributes that we use within the market. So if that changes, we can extend that schema. We've done that already, and again, I'll go into that in slight detail shortly. And the flexibility of it, we can integrate this into any third-party systems. It's an API system, which we have, again, already integrated to a number of customers. So the current position, so where are we currently with SPN Plus? So at the moment, we've got 4 customers live on SPN Plus, which is a huge achievement given we kind of started rolling over the conversations September 2024. But this doesn't integrate just a lender, this integrates a panel manager, this integrates third parties as well. So we've got 4 currently live. We've got a further over 18 customers now in UAT. So lender customers kind of testing this at the moment, all aiming to go live, hopefully by March 2026, majority of. So we've got quite a large number of customers who wanted to adopt this product. This has kind of caused a bit of a position now where we've kind of got a bit of a waiting list actually for lenders to kind of integrate with it, which is great, from our point. So we're now working with lenders around looking at what that roadmap looks like for 2026. So from the launch, it's been seen as a favourable position for all customers. And if you're interested in having that conversation of where that looks like and where our roadmap currently is, then let's have that conversation, because as I say, there's plenty in there at the moment. We're working very closely with third-party origination providers and a number of consultancy firms to make sure that the integration is pretty smooth. So we've been doing that now with pretty much, I would say, every origination provider we're working with at the moment has a copy of either the ABI specification or it's live on their systems, and the integration is pretty smooth. So we've been working very closely with them. Some of the origination providers, we've been planning out a roadmap for the next 2 years as well, and kind of identifying the customers they're working with and how we can kind of integrate them, because we have a bit of a challenge where we're trying to aim to get everyone on board by the end of 2027. So we're working very closely with these third parties as well. So what's next then for SPM Plus? So for us, we're going to continue to integrate our current lenders onto SPM Plus. We have a large number of lenders who manually instruct. They're now moving across into the API, and it just shows that the progress within the market and people wanting to automate, even with small volume numbers, they're all wanting to kind of get into this automated position. So we're working with a number of these. As I said, if you're interested in having that conversation around kind of where that sits from our roadmap and yourselves, come and have a word. We talked about how the API is expandable. We've had a recent change to our SPM Plus at the moment, where we're now focusing on query management. So this is already in addition to the SPM Plus. As we mentioned, it will continue to grow and evolve. So SPM Plus, the query management side, it's basically a way of being able to respond to PVQs or pre-offer queries, but utilising the panel network that everybody's utilising already. The links are there between all parties. There's an audit trail, there's MI that can be provided around that as well. And there's quite a bit we're doing on that at the moment. So we're aiming to be live in Q2 of next year, of 2026, or the end of Q1 2026. But again, if you want some more information, I know Nick is probably going to touch briefly on query management, but we can have a conversation about that afterwards as well. So that was just kind of a high level of where we are with SPM Plus. We've talked about SPM Plus over the last couple of summits, and we just want to highlight kind of the position. So I think it's showing the interest in the market, where we're leading, and then this will continue. This is kind of like the backbone part to the next step of Vantage Case Manager. So I'll pass you back over to Nikki, who'll do a demonstration of Vantage. Thank you.
Right, so Vantage Case Manager. So as Graham said, this is launched in the market. We have been beta testing it throughout the year. We do have a sizable firm already using it, as well as a number of small and medium firms who have adopted it. Vantage Case Manager is a connected solution, not just for surveyors. It is for panel managers and for lenders as well. It is going to be that view into the new world. It does include the richer data sharing, as mentioned, all the SPN data or SPN Plus data that can be sent through. So this can be anything from tenure, type, property style, occupancy, remaining term, title plans, EPC data, better information around access to the property can be shared up front. Purchase scheme, ownership, mortgage, LTV, service charge, management company, anything you can think of can be sent and shared through SPM Plus and serviced in Vantage Case Manager. That's one for Ollie. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Anything you can think of, he's your man. Excellent. So in the last 12 months, what we have delivered is this end-to-end journey of richer data sharing from SPM Plus through Vantage Case Manager to the mobile app and backwards. And this really is the foundations of everything Landmark Connect. So I did want to show you an end-to-end journey of SPM Plus all the way through, but because all the lenders, you'll use different origination systems, and it is essentially some very nerdy code and JSON scripts in the background that probably only Ollie in the room can decipher for us. I've done a nice little screen grab for you of what that looks like. So from your origination system, it will send through SPM Plus and will surface in Vantage Case Manager. So as a lender, you'll have a view into the lender view of Case Manager. So in this example, and I didn't appreciate how small the screens would be, so unless you've got go-go gadget eyes, you may not be able to read all that, but essentially we've got a property address with loads of richer information that can be sent through here, which again, could include all the tenure, term, lease, access arrangements, details about the property, much richer information up front to help panel managers and to help surveyors have a better view as to what they're going out to do the inspection on. You could send things like PDFs can go through this, JPEGs can go through SPM Plus and then be surfaced in Case Manager. So these could be your title plans, OC1s, your EPCs, all that sort of information. So let me show you what it actually looks like for real. So what we have here is this is a live version of Vantage Case Manager. Whether you log in as a surveying firm, an independent surveying firm, a small surveying firm, or as a panel manager, this is your view. And we'll be extending this out to be the lender view of Case Manager, how you view all of your cases in the new Vantage or within the new Landmark world. So you'll be able to see what cases have come through to the case dashboard. We have a search function, much like Google, so up in the top right. Can you see my little mouse? Yep, lovely. So you can search by postcode, you can search by customer name, you can search by property address, partial address. It will search for anything within that database for you. You can see any of your jobs that are booked, held, tried. You've got your overview and your dashboard. Now, I'm conscious that most of you sit in the large surveying firm and the panel manager world and in the lender world, so I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritties of how you create a case and all those things. Let's assume this is all being panelled through. But we've got much richer information at your fingertips for your admin teams, for your bookers, for your accounting teams, for your finance teams to be able to see everything all at once. We have much richer MI reporting in here. So those of you, put your hands up if you've used F6 reports. Oh, Paul loves them. Yeah, fantastic. We have a new version of F6 reports. You do not need a computer programming degree to create these reports now. We have extensible columns, so you can choose your columns, your filters, and as you can see, there's a whole host of information here. You can create your own reports, which means your admin teams or whoever needs to can create these on the fly. From valuation, you can select your valuation type, you can select purchase schemes, you can purchase property styles, property tenure type. So you may use these for MI reporting and internal reporting to check your performance of your surveyors or turnaround times, but you could also use this for market research as well. So you see how many 2-bedroom flats or how many 4-bedroom homes have we surveyed in this area over a period of time. So there's a whole host of information here that you can customize on the fly and then filter as required. So we've got extensible filters. So anyone that has come across the F6 world, you will appreciate how much more advanced this is and how much easier and how much more granular you can get on your reporting. Okay? Within the user interface, you now have the ability to control and manage your user roles and permissions at a much more granular level. I'm going to blame the Wi-Fi here. I'm on public Wi-Fi. This was loading very quickly before I got here. Let me go into another environment. No, it's definitely the Wi-Fi. But you've got complete control from within the UI to manage your clients, your user roles and permissions at a much granular level. So you could say, I've got a booking team, I only want them to do this. I've got surveyors, I only want them to do this. And you can control and configure that in a very, very tight way within this system. So let's take a look at what a case looks like when sent through from the SPM Plus. So we had the example of Baker Street. Anyone know what address this is? Oh. Only a couple of chuckles. Right, so let's have a look. So this is now all the information all on one page. So if you're a panel manager, if you're using this portal, you don't necessarily have to migrate from DataWeb, and I'll explain that. You've got access to this now, to this richer information now, and this is your view into the SPN Plus world. So we've got all the richer information all on one page. In the DataWeb world, it's spread out over a number of pages, and there's a real limit to the number of fields that you've got. So we can see here the fees, you can see here any notes that have been sent through from SPN, you can see the lease, the tenure, the term, the ground rent, the service charge, estimated monthly rental. So much more information can be sent through. You also have richer files. So anything that could have been sent, these are files that could have been sent through the SPN Plus from lender to panel manager on to the surveying firms. So again, EPC, OC1s, your external wall certificates, any of this can be sent through now, which is fantastic. What's great though is you can send information back. So as a surveyor or a panel manager, you can send information back to the lender, and this is all part of that Landmark Connect and richer information back. And it's so much easier through this portal versus, well, you can't do it today in DataWeb. So it might be a case that you need to send, your 5 photos, front, street scene, rear, whatever it is, high res. Perhaps there's issues with the property. You can send those defects back. Perhaps you need to start sending the SCT back. You've got so much more flexibility with this system, and as you can see how quickly that can upload and return back and create those valuation packs. So how does this look on mobile? Let's have a look. Actually, before I go into mobile, I'm going to show you something that's very, very new and Carl has alluded to. So I did notice that this only got released to our systems in our test environment, or pre-prod environment last night. And this is the start of this PVQ queries journey. Now, we will be surfacing as part of this portal queries or PVQ. So as a lender, your queries could be up front. As a surveyor, they could be post-valuation queries. So we'll be surfacing this in this portal for you. So this is just an example. This is a high-level overview. It's an introduction to what we're planning on doing. We are currently running user research groups and design sessions on this at the moment. I know a number of you in the room are already engaged with those. If anyone else wants to get involved, please do come and speak to me after this. So let me go into the mobile app.
Yep.
Voila. Okay. So this is the new Vantage Surveyor mobile app. So what we have here is diary view, as you would expect. You have the ability to scroll backwards and forwards through your days as a surveyor. You can jump from day to day and see your jobs all in one screen. From a real quick snapshot, you have access and visibility of those cases, so you can see where you're going. If you have a key pickup, so I'm going to stand over here so you can see. You see key pickup, you can see where you're going. You've got your times laid out. These will appear in the order that they have been booked. If you do book in Windows, they will appear in the order that you book them. You can see who the job is for, so everything at a quick snapshot. And as I said, you can see if there's a key collection and there'll be a call icon if you need to call ahead. There's a couple of views to this as well though. You can view this on a map view. So we can see all of the properties that I'm going to today. I've got an exciting day today. I'm going to Downing Street, Sherlock Holmes. 10 points for anyone who can guess this next address, Valence Road. Of course you know, Paul.
I'm a Londoner.
Exactly. Excellent. So everything on a map. So I've got a very exciting day today. We have multiple map views here. So I can change this to hybrid view, elevation, show points of interest. I can turn them on and off. So as a surveyor, I can really zoom in and see where I am going. I can take screenshots of that on the fly. Let's make sure I don't turn the iPad off as I do this. There we go. I could use any of the onboard tools to highlight any of the boundaries around this, mark any hazards, any issues, any risks. I can save that to the case, I can upload it, I can share it back with the lender. There's a whole host of things that I can do with this. I'm not going to save that right now. So it's very, very useful, very, very powerful. Of course, we have route planning tools, so I can plan my route for the day, where I'm going, and it'll give me live updates and traffic. So that's fantastic. From within the case details, there's a lot more information that we've shared. So everything that has traveled through from SPM Plus will come down to the surveyor's iPad. So if I go into Baker Street, here we are. I've got all my jobs, got my job details. I can see everything from a real quick snapshot, real quick glance there. And then if I tap into either of these areas, so let's go into the full job details. If I go into here, everything that was sent through SPM Plus, and then all the supplementary information that was then added by the surveying firm, perhaps the bookers or the administrators, into Vantage Case Manager will travel down to the tablet. So this makes it a very powerful tool for the surveyors out on site. They've got everything at their fingertips. So all of the property information, everything about the lease, the tenure, the property type, remaining term, everything at their fingertips, EPC, all the appointment details, all of the access arrangements are all there. If I go into the actual property details, again, I can see that I need to call ahead. If I go into the property, again, I've got this more granular view. It'll zoom in on the property. I can see my access arrangements. I can see that I've got a key collection. If the return collection address is different, that will pop up as well. And I can plan my routes between key collection and return, which is great, and where I need to go. So here we are. I need to travel there, and I need to travel to the estate agent, pick up the key and return it. So lots of information, very useful, all at fingertips. And again, you can change the map view on and off to show traffic and routing and edit all those good things. We then have the ability to take photos. Let me show you. We have photos on here. So you can take photos on the device as you would expect. Can I have everyone's hands in the air? Yay, scream if you want to go faster. Okay. Brilliant. So I'm good at theme parks, if anyone likes to go on roller coasters. Right, so we've got that in there. Again, you can upload, so you can take photos directly on the device. You can upload them. So if you had taken them on an external camera, perhaps you'd use a mobile phone. You can hotspot them, you can tether them, airdrop them across, and you can upload multiple photos all at once. Oh, I've got some nice, juicy cracked walls in there, which is great. And I can upload all those photos into there. There's one in there that's an incorrect format, and I can't figure out which one it is. So here we go. So we've got all of our lovely juicy photos in there. Roof that needs some serious repair. And again, if you want to send any of these back to the lender, it's just a case of selecting which ones need to go back. Tick, 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 send. It's really fast, really simple, and that will send back with the lender valuation. In addition to that, we have a document store. So any of the documents, if anything was attached to the case, so this is what I attached just before in Case Manager, that will send down to the tablet. So this could be the information that's sent over SPM Plus from lender, or perhaps the booking team or administration team in the office has attached some information for the surveyor. Surveyor picks it up on the tablet. So it helps the surveyor's efficiency and having access to that richer information. Of course, you then have the ability to upload documents. So I can select, let's upload a document. So I could scan a document. I didn't actually bring a document to scan today.
Yeah, QR code.
QR code, here we go. Let's go for this one. Right, I'm going to hover this over there, the document, not the best lighting in the world, but I haven't actually pressed anything, and you can see that it's automatically highlighted the outline of that. I don't know if you saw that happen. It happened very quickly, but it hovers over the outline, identifies the outline, snaps it into place, and creates a PDF. So that is fantastic and saves a lot of time. You then have tools to rotate, readjust, take it again. Obviously, I was holding this upside down, which didn't help, and I can pop that in there. I can also then upload documents as well. So if something had been emailed to me, I could upload any of those from my files. I don't have any photos, any documents in there to upload. And of course, we have a floor plan tool in here. So just a quick overview of that. You have the ability to use freestyle pen. In there, we have a multitude of colors. We have a straight wall tool, so that will snap to the grid and draw your lines, calculate your floor areas. You have a multitude of pens and colors to be able to edit that. I'm going to just undo that because what we also have built in here is, sorry, I should have brought an actual pen. You can do this with a finger. Is you can import a floor plan and annotate over the top of it. So here we go. I've brought in a floor plan. There's tools that you can use to resize it, or you can just use your fingers to pinch and zoom. And again, you can use the tools to draw straight walls, to annotate over top, draw in your measurements. So I could say, right, that is 5 meters. Oh, that's so much better with a pen. I hope your surveyors are better than this. If there was a river running along the back, you can draw that in there. Does work better with a pen. say there's a tree on the property boundaries and you can draw in your property boundaries. You can add multiple pages, so you can employ floor plans, site plans, draw your floors over different levels. So there's lots of information in there, and of course, if you want your surveys to be a lot neater, we have room symbols and logos, and that they can drag and drop in onto the floor plan. So most importantly, this does have built-in site notes. So we have the site notes in here. These are dynamic. So what we've really built into Case Manager and the reports within the desktop solution and within the mobile app is this concept of dynamic site notes and dynamic reports. So what I mean by that is if we go into a section, for example, freehold, you'll all be accustomed to that, there's no further queries. Yet if we go into a leasehold, what it does is it then adds an extra page dynamically for your surveyors to capture the information around lease. So if there's no lease, if it's not a buy-to-let, if it's none of these things, if it's not a new build, they will never have to answer these irrelevant questions. So it keeps it very concise, very fast for them to answer the necessary information. Similar thing happens with property types. So if it's a house, you have the house options. If it's a flat, it will add in, and it did it rather quickly, it will add in a page to capture the flat information. But otherwise, it is a case of clicking and going through. Now we have a counter up in the top right-hand corner to help guide the surveyors through, so they will never get lost, because it is very easy when you're out on site with a digital site note to have your head stuck down in the site notes. What we want is we want them looking at the property. So this will help guide them through any remaining fields. They can literally just click on it and it will drop them straight in there. And then they can tap through and cover those off. Now, if they wanted to, they could literally just click the arrows and it will drop them straight into any remaining fields. So that is a whiz-bang tour of the new mobile app. Let me just go back. I'm back.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So the next question is, when can we have it? Question I get asked daily. So, available now is SPN Plus. This is live, it's available now. As Carl mentioned, we do have a waiting list for this. So if you are interested, get in touch with Carl to register your interest so we can start planning your migration and onboarding to that. Large and panel firms, you can access richer data now, or imminently I should say, through Vantage Case Manager without necessarily having to migrate from DataWeb. So there are solutions in place that is a stepping stone that is going to be available for you to access the richer data and the query management. Small and medium firms, we are migrating now to Vantage Case Manager. And that's really kicking off. So we've completed the beta testing phase, and that is really moving ahead as of January. So coming next, we've got a lot coming up. We've got a lot of features being developed and coming out. So coming next, we are planning large firms and panel firm migrations. This is not an overnight process, as anyone who has migrated from a, say, non-hosted to hosted system or still going through that process. So we need to start planning now. Okay, so we're doing that now. We are coming next is enhanced surveyor features such as intelligent booking, intelligent work queues, query management, and paneling. So we've already started the user research and the UI groups around that. A lot of you are already engaged in those. If you're not, then we really recommend and request that you get on board. We need to make sure that this is going to be fit for your business. And as you can see, coming soon is the PVQs and queries management. So get involved, get engaged, reach out to us, and let's get you going.
Hey, Nikki. Nice one.